Good morning. I'm Fitzroy, and you are?
I'm Claudine.
Claudine. Where are you originally from, Claudine?
I'm from Northwest Clarendon in a small district called Union, which is between Frankfield and Spaldings.
Okay. What was it like growing up in that community from a financial perspective?
From a financial perspective, it's probably one of those areas that probably some people would say not the most privileged. We walk to school, but for high school, which is a bit further, we would get a taxi. The closest town is Frankfield, but if we were looking for a broader or more variety of shopping, then we'll go to Spaldings or Mandeville. Growing up in Union we still had fun. We didn't have the best of things like some people would say they had. It was quite a very rural community, but most of the residents in that community were family, and we grew up together as one.
Okay, mommy and daddy still around?
My mom lives in San Diego, California. My dad still lives in that district in Jamaica.
Good. Any siblings?
Yes, I have 4 sisters and 4 brothers. We're scattered across the world, some in Jamaica, the US, and I've got a sister here in the UK with me.
Okay. Where did you attend school?
I attended Edwin Allen High School in Frankfield.
Okay, what did you do after school?
After school, I moved to Kingston with my mom for about 4 to 5 months, and then I moved to the UK in February 2002.
Okay, so roughly what age were you when you came here?
17.
17.
Yes.
And what did you do?
So at
Straight into the
first,
army?
I started out at college. I did college for a few years, and then I wanted a change. I was speaking to a friend that I went to high school with, and she was telling me about the army, so I decided to go for it.
Okay, and how did you find recruiting the careers office? Did someone point you to the careers office, or you?
Yes, so I initially went to the careers office in Mitcham, Croydon, in that area, and I was told they don't recruit Commonwealth, so I had to go to the Strand. So I did my recruitment at Charing Cross at the Strand at the time, which I believe is no longer there.
Okay, and from there, what was the process? Your process?
So I did the BARB test. I chose the CAP badge that I wanted to go into, which is AGC SPS, and from there on, it didn't take me much time. I would say the whole process took me about 5 months. I started training after 5 months after the first going into the careers office.
Okay, and how did you find the first day, week 1, basic training?
Not knowing what to expect at the time, but gradually as I got closer, I realized that this was going to be a challenge, which I should have thought about it. But yes, I met friends. I was like one of the older ones, because most of them were quite young, 17 and 18-year-olds. I was 22 at the time, so it was one of those things where you just like riding the flow to see what's going to happen.
Okay, where did you do your which ATR did you do your basic training?
I did my basic training in ATR Purbright.
Okay, and what about your you'd have gone on a number of exercises. How did you find exercise 1, your first exercise?
Exercise 1, I would say, was the easier of the 3. We only did a night out in the field. That was just to give us a taster of living in the field. So exercise 1 wasn't bad.
Okay, in terms of physical exercise, you'd have gone to Outbreak Hill a few times. How did you find that one?
The first time I went on it, I'm not gonna lie, at the end of it I was in tears. I'm not gonna lie, and most of the other girls were in tears. That was very challenging. But in the end, we were doing it all the time, so I got used to it.
Okay. And your basic training overall, how did you find it?
It was very challenging. I've always said it's one of the most challenging things I've ever done in my life. At the time, I had a 1-year-old baby, so it's like I put my body in shock at the time, but I wouldn't take away the experience. I have learned a lot from it. Physically, it was very challenging, but that has built my resilience. So I can't speak bad of it.
Okay, so what was it like for you turning up at your unit where you're not in basic training anymore, you are a real soldier now? How does that feel? How did that feel?
It was daunting because it's a different experience now. Like you said, I'm not in basic training, neither was I in phase 2. The thing about turning up at my unit, I turned up and they were deploying to Iraq, and they said to me, you're going to Iraq, and within 2 weeks I was in Iraq.
Wow, how was that?
I was very scared at first because that was 2007. I would say at the peak of Iraq being really turbulent. But I had a good time. I have met friends that I am still close with. It was a very good experience, and the bonds and the friendship that I've made with people is always something that I will always remember.
Okay. So how long was your tour of duty in Iraq?
I did 6 months.
6 months?
Yes.
And did you have to go back or anything like that?
No, so I only did Iraq. That was my only operational tour in 2007. I came back, did my R&R, and I went back and just finished the tour.
Okay. And overall, Iraq for you was an eye-opener, as you mentioned?
Yes, it was. It was an eye-opener. Having just come in from basic training, and my first experience of the army, apart from training, was going on operations. But it was good. It gave me that resilience.
Okay. So throughout, well, I can't say throughout because you're still serving. So exercises, short exercises that you've been on, which is the most memorable one for you through your service or tour?
I'm just trying to think. I haven't done much exercises. To be honest, I have only done one overseas exercise, and that was in Kenya last year.
Okay.
And short exercises was within the UK. I did a week. So if I had to say the most memorable overseas tour that I've done, I probably would have said 3 months that I did in Cyprus in 2013. I went out on the decompression team, so I was part of the decompression party. Even though there were challenges, the good thing was we were out on the beach every day, so that was a different experience, speaking to the guys who were coming from tour. So I would probably say that's the most memorable overseas.
Okay, so am I at any liberty to ask what's your job spec?
Yeah, so I'm AGC SBS Staff Sergeant. I'm a Chief Clerk role.
So what does that mean for somebody who doesn't in the army?
So AGC SPS, we are pretty much the HR. We are the HR department of the army. So we look after personal documentation, we look after the payroll, the finance, performance management, human resources in general. That's what we do.
Okay. So you're a staff sergeant, as you mentioned.
Yes.
What is your role on a day-to-day basis?
As a Chief Clerk, so I would say I'm the HR lead for the brigade. So I brief the senior management in all relations to do with HR, ensure that all documentation of personnel are ready, that the brigade is pretty much ready for any operational taskings or any operational duties from a G1 perspective or an HR perspective, if we say. So that's my main role. I am the lead for the HR aspect of the headquarters. Okay.
In terms of activities, do you take part in any sporting activities or recreational?
Sporting activities, no, but I've applied for the Invictus Games, which will be in Dusseldorf, Germany next year. I'm currently going through the training process, so I'm just very hopeful and hope that I will be selected to represent Team UK next year at the Games.
So in which, so could you repeat that for me?
The Invictus Games, which is a game which was founded by the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, and it's the games for veterans and serving personnel who are injured or sick. It's really aimed to help them with their recovery.
Okay. I like the way you explain. For anybody who doesn't understand will definitely understand from your explanation.
Thank you.
So what's your thought as it relates to female joining the artillery and infantry units now?
I would say go for it. I think the army has changed over the years compared to when I joined 16 years ago. It's more inclusive. I think they recognize that females can do the roles as well, And I would say anybody who wants to join, go for it. It's a more inclusive army. I think they've looked into it and tried to adapt where possible to have an organization where females can feel that sense of belonging.
Okay. Could you briefly list a few of benefits that a person can be benefited from being a part of the army or any part of the armed forces?
First thing, the pension. I would say we've got the best pension scheme out there. It's a pension scheme that is non-contributable, and at the end of it, you walk away with a lump sum and a monthly pension account. I think the allowances that we get are great. We get allowances to traveling to work if you live over a certain mile from your place of duty. I also think the healthcare as well, the medical and dental is all free. They're brilliant benefits. I think one important thing as well, if you love traveling like myself, you get to see the world. I think the friendships that you've made, the camaraderie between the colleagues, it's one that you can't take away. There are loads of benefits to the military, and that's what is part of my experience, and I'm always going to remember that.
Okay. I should commend you. You're very intellectual.
Thank you.
What kind of encouragement you would give to anybody who want to join the army now, whether male or female?
My encouragement to anybody who wants to join the army, if it's your ambition and it's something that you want to do, there are many benefits to joining the army, like I've just outlined. The camaraderie that you'll get with your colleagues. If you want to see the world, you'll get to see the world. The culture is brilliant. Our culture is so different. It's one of those things that you will always remember. The banter, the laugh, the memes that we'll use that non-military personnel won't understand. That's just built us. The resilience that you'll get, the adaptability being in the military, you get to move around every so often and you adapt to situations quite quickly. Teamwork, you can't beat teamwork. You work well, you get to build on your teamwork if that's an issue for you. But importantly is the leadership skills and the transferable skills that you will get when you leave the military, which is very valuable to many organizations.
I like the way you're confident. Where did you build this rapport? Did you had it before you joined the army, or you learned this as you go through?
I think I learned this before I went through. Before I joined the army, I was quite shy. During my yearly appraisals, the feedback I always get to say that she's very quiet, very shy, but I've improved my confidence through personal development. Recently, I undertook a undergraduate degree with University of Lincoln. I've improved my academic skills. I also do public speaking as well, so that's improved my communication.
I could tell.
Yeah, so personal development and professional development is a great way to improve your skills and also help to identify who you are as a person.
Is there anybody you would want to say thanks to for the development of your career?
There are too many people, but first I would want to thank God, because He showed me that whatever I'm going through, I still can do it. No matter what my battles and my struggles, I can do it. But looking back at my family and friends, my mom first out, I would like to thank my mom. She's my biggest supporter, always supporting me in everything that I do. My dad, my siblings, and all my friends. I've got some brilliant friends who always motivate me, who always encourages me and inspire me to carry on with what I'm doing. I've got too much people to thank, so I don't want to miss anyone out. But my friends, they know themselves. They know how much I value their feedback and their support. So I just want to say thanks to all of them.
Do you care to say your mom's name?
Paulina. And also, I can't forget my two children as well, Shazim and Chelsea.
Okay. So I would just like to express my deepest gratitude to you for your generosity in accepting this interview at such a short time. And also thanks to you for your service, not only to regiments, but to the wider public, the UK and wherever you serve.
Thank you.
So thanks.
Thank you very much.